Hello. So today we are going to discuss the sparse matrices. So this sparse means if many elements are zero, and dense means few elements are zero. We are talking about in the terms of matrices. So there are two type of sparse matrices. The first one is structured and second one unstructured. We will discuss basically two examples, diagonal and tridiagonal, and triangular. So this both two example we will discuss. And these structured sparse matrices may be mapped into one dimensional array so that mapping function can be used to locate an element. Why? Because in these matrices many elements are zero, and suppose we are storing these matrices as it is, then lots of the memory space will be wasted. So to avoid and to save the memory spaces, we can store these elements in one dimensional array instead of two dimensional array. So logically it will be two dimensional matrices, but in actual it will be stored in one dimensional array. Now, as I said, sparse matrices are the matrices in which relatively high proportion of zero entries. So there are two type of general n square matrices. The first one triangular matrices and second one tridiagonal matrices. So first one triangular matrices. You can see here the elements of this matrices are in the shape of triangle, and these elements here which are blanks, these are zero entries. So first matrix, that is triangular matrix, where all entries above main diagonal are zero. That means where non-zero entries can only occur on or below main diagonal. So this is a triangular matrix. So this is a one form. Second type of sparse matrices of in a structured category is tridiagonal matrices. You can see here all the non-zero entries are in diagonal or below or above, just below or just above this diagonal, and remaining these blank space shows zero entries. So tridiagonal matrices where all entries can only occur on the diagonal or on elements immediately above or below the diagonals. Now, as I said, to save memory spaces, sparse matrices are stored such that only those entries which may be non-zero stored in memory. Here I am showing one example of this trigonal matrices. You can see here this is the elements in general form, and this matrix, sparse matrix A, can be stored in one dimensional array by using this fashion. Like firstly we can store A11, then A21, then A22. After that, third row A31, A32, A33, and so on. So if we take one dimensional array B, so at B1 will be A11, at B2 A21, B3 A22, B4 A31, and so on. So how many elements or how many memory spaces will be required in this array B? You can see here in first row one element, in second row two elements, in third row three elements, and if it is n cross n matrix, so in last row n element. So total element will be in first row 1, in second row 2, in third row 3, and so on in last row n. So total n plus 1 by 2. That is in the terms of n square, approximately we can say n square by 2. And if we store this two-dimensional array as it is, the memory requirement will be n multiplied by n, that is n square. And here by this way we can store by using just n square by 2 memory slots. So, but here a different issue arises. How we can access these elements? If we store into D array, then we can access these elements by just using the subscript. Like I can use A22, I can use AN2, AI2, like that. But how we can store, how we can access this element in one dimensional array? So we need a formula in the terms of this J and K, where J denotes row and K denote column. Since we require the value of A, J, K in our program, we want formula that gives us the integer L in terms of J and K, where L is the index in array B. So we will use a simple concept. Observe, L represents number of elements in list up to and including AJK. As I said, suppose a element is in jth row and kth column. So that means before this there are j minus 1 row. Before this j minus 1 row. So in first row 1 element, in second row 2 element, in third row 3 element. So j minus 1th row में j minus 1 element. Total j minus 1 divided by 2. And including this k, so in kth row this will be the k. So L will be j minus 1 by 2 plus k. So if we know the value of j and k, then we can know by this formula that at what value L in this array B, this element AJK will be stored. Next one, unstructured sparse matrices. Like in structured sparse matrices, the elements are well structured, but there are so many real applications in which these sparse matrices are not structured. I'm just discussing one example, like airline flight. You know, the airports are numbered 1 through n, and suppose we write flight IJ, and this is the list of non-stop flights from airport I to airport J. Suppose the value of n is 1000, just assume. Then this n cross n array of list references will be 4 billion bytes. And suppose if we assume this n is equal to 20,000, then it will be a huge memory requirement. So again, it can be stored in single linear list in row measure order. Row measure order means one row, then next row, then next row, and so on. Scan the non-zero elements of the sparse matrix in row measure order. But again, the issue of accessing. So each non-zero element is represented by a triple: row, column, and then well. The list of triples may be an array list, or it can be stored in linked list. Thank you. Enough for today. From next lecture, according to our lecture plan, I will discuss the searching and sorting algorithm. So I will start linear search and binary search in next lecture. Thank you.